grateful a lot. Don't say it out loud, you know. If you find that you catch yourself in complaining a lot, there's something to look at. Because what's happening is you're being powerfully creative towards more things to complain about. If you're grateful, you're being powerfully creative towards more things to be grateful about. So you are powerful. Gratitude is powerful. Gratitude is spiritual. We already live in a spiritual system, folks. We don't have to try to get spiritual. There's nothing that any of you can do to be any more spiritual than you already are. But we forget. And we misuse that knowledge. We forget, we don't know, and next thing you know, we're using our creative power in a not so good way. But you are already spiritual beings. Because this is already a spiritual universe that we live in. And it says that you are creating with it all the time. Ernest Holmes says to be spiritual is to create. To be spiritual is to create. That's what God does. Okay, mind you, in our philosophy, God is not a man in the sky. God is the energy of the universe, the whole infinite thing. How did any of us get here? Out of that creative force. How did the trees get here? Out of that creative force. How did the oceans, the mountains get here? Out of that creative force. To be spiritual is to create. God does it. And our philosophy says, and we were given the exact same gift. So we are spiritual beings and we are creating. The choice is ours. What am I creating? So there's powerful, there's spiritual practice. There's our work. To sit and know that we are spiritual beings is one of the most beautiful things to do. But so many of us, we like to do stuff. We don't like to just sit quiet and think about it. We want to do something to help us along. I get that. You know, we want to build stronger muscles, we have to actually use them. We can't sit in our chair going, I have stronger muscles. That's a good first start. But something's going to come along and go, well then go do something. So, that the practice part is very, very important. Matter of fact, it's so important, listen to what Ernest Holmes says. One of the great difficulties in this new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. As a matter of fact, we can only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. Too much theory, which is really good. I love sitting around having philosophical conversations with my colleagues. That's very fun. That's only one piece of it. We do need to practice, 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 practice. So I know people who keep gratitude journals. Part of the thing about a journal is if you write something down, let's say today you have an epiphany, you have a lesson learned, you write that down. Anything you want, oh, I'm really grateful for this today. Oh, I'm really grateful for that insight today. Oh, I'm really grateful. A couple years later, you're going to forget all about those things. You're going to, you don't think you will, right? Oh, I'm going to remember that thing forever because it was so profound, and 2 years later, it's not in your awareness. You go back and you look at your journal and you go, wow. It is really cool to keep a journal like that. You can see your growth. You can see how you have learned. You can see, wow, this gratitude that I'm writing about and experiencing really is changing my life for the better. So gratitude journal is great. How many of you practice falling asleep to gratitude? Anybody in this room use that as a practice? Good, quite a few of you. If you don't already, it's so easy. You lay yourself down to sleep, you get all cozy in your bed, and as you fall asleep, you start thinking everything that you're grateful for that day. And if you're like me, you will be asleep before you get to the list. Because hopefully you have a pretty good long list. And going to sleep with those wonderful gratitude thoughts on your mind, it's a good night's sleep. It certainly beats the, oh my gosh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and stress this, and stress out about that, that some people go to sleep with. So if you replace that tool with, it's a tool to practice. I'm grateful that I have this bed to lay in. I'm grateful for this soft pillow under my head. Right now I'm very grateful for the air conditioning in my house. I'm grateful for my friends, I'm grateful for my partner, I'm grateful for my puppy who's laying right there next to me. I'm grateful for this home, I'm grateful for the food I eat today, I'm grateful for my family, and you can go on and on and on and on and on. You can include those lessons learned. I'm grateful today that somebody really pointed that out to me. Yes, I'm grateful that I'm able to walk. I'm grateful, whatever. I mean, I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that my hair grows. You can just start naming things. What a wonderful way to live. How many of you wake up the next day doing the same thing? Okay, some people don't do the night, they do the morning. Equally wonderful, because you wake up in the morning and you set your intention with that gratitude. This morning I'm grateful, and you just start naming the list. And now you walk into the day with this happy heart, with this gratitude. Guess how that day is going to go? It's going to go a heck of a lot better than if you wake up going, oh, I got this, I got that. You know, that complaining, oh my gosh, it's too stressful, I have too much to do mindset. Wake up with gratitude, it goes a long, long way. Another tool, this is one of my favorites, is to notice when I get triggered. And the thing that gets me out of the trigger, because usually the trigger is, when I get in an angry trigger, I don't like the way that feels. So I acknowledge it for a moment. Sometimes I just speak it out loud. Wow, that email I just read really riled me up. Wow, that Facebook from my nephew just triggered me. And I'll acknowledge it, because you got to get it out. And then silently I start thinking about things to be grateful for instead. Because I could stay in that anger, I can stay in that trigger moment for a long time. Just like the best of you. We can stay in that icky place, but it doesn't feel so good. I don't like it. And so I start saying, all right, taking my attention off of that for a minute and let me be grateful for the fact that I have email, the fact that I can go on Facebook. It's my choice, right? So when we get triggered is the best time, in my opinion, to use your gratitude. But it means you got to be aware of yourself. You got to know when you've been triggered. You got to know when you're in a funky place, whatever that is. What brought that on? And okay, I see that, I see it. Don't bury your head in the sand, but what do I want to look at instead? This whole philosophy, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. We renew our mind by having tools like that, to give ourselves something else to think about, to give ourselves a way to go into our morning, to fall asleep at night. And one of the best ways is meditation. So let's do that. You don't need to do this. Just do a little meditation. You might say, close your eyes. Begin with breathing. Just breathe, nothing else. Breathing is not just a nice spiritual woo thing to do, because all spiritual leaders suggest it. Breathing gets us in this now moment. Breathing tells the body, I'm safe, I'm calm, you can relax. Breathing is the opposite of fight or flight. Because when we're in fight or flight or adrenaline mode, our body is kicked up. When we're in deep breath mode, our body relaxes. So we breathe to let our body relax. As you breathe, I invite you to just be grateful for that. I can breathe. I can breathe deeper. I can calm my body and my mind through these breaths. Be grateful for that. Let it inform your body to be at ease. So let's be grateful for that. That we have this body. That our body is doing beautiful things for us right now as we speak. One of those being that you have a brain that knows what I'm saying. So many things. Grateful for this body, grateful for this breath. I invite you to think of something now from the past. It could be yesterday. Doesn't matter how far back. Could be a year ago, anywhere. Just let something intuitively come to you that you were already grateful for. Something already happened that you went, yeah, I am so grateful for that. Call that to mind. And as you call it to mind, begin to see it as much as you can in your mind's eye. See it. See it happening. And as you begin to see it, feel it. What were you feeling when that happened? Besides gratitude, what else? Were you feeling love? Were you feeling safe? Were you feeling connected to another human being? Did you just get your dream job? What is it?